Hello, Aardvark family. So I wanted to begin the next YouTube video on the curriculum guide, and it begins on page 13. So, as the American staff leader, I'm available to you, to the Polish host, to the students. I'm very creative in lessons, but I'm don't even want to say that with the knowledge that we have with the camp, teachers and teaching assistants this year. I did send you a copy of last year's 4th of July program and then the celebration of the arts. And not to put Megan out there, but I know she has a lot of information regarding that, and she was able to give a lot of insight and put that program together. So I'm asking everyone to help, but Megan, I know, like I said, we have so many music majors. She definitely can, put together the performance for the families. And from what I understand, it's really big and they have a nice dinner afterwards. So we can make it as big of a celebration as you would like. So just know that I'm here. I'm doing the YouTube videos for the curriculum guide because I know how hard it is teaching. I was driving an hour and 20 minutes each way to work because when we moved to Florida, I was told, oh, it's a straight shoot down 95. It's really not bad. And it really was not what I thought it was going to be. So we do have the WhatsApp app and the GroupMe. I'm going to post in both and send the emails. And WhatsApp will be helpful when we get to Poland. And then, that can be used for texting. But I think probably most of us have iPhones, but the GroupMe is like a nice quick way to communicate too. And then everything that I don't have all the answers, but believe me, I'm a researcher and I will get the answers for you. So Dr. Payeski and Dr. Wojcik, they're wonderful in communication if I have any questions. So I would suggest like start putting information. Danielle, Lala, our art teacher, is already, I've submitted her supply document into the Polish staff. And if you just want to put in GroupMe like what you're doing, because we could have cross curricular studies, she's got some great ideas in there. And then the teacher assistants, like I said, if they could, help with the teacher and certainly share their experiences, which is awesome. And then don't hesitate to text me or call me. I know calling today is not as prevalent, but you can certainly text me, and I may not get back to you immediately, obviously, but I certainly will. And we will have daily staff meetings when we're in Poland just to say, hey, how's it going? What do you think we can improve upon? I'm a very democratic leader, so I'm kind of a behind the scenes person. It takes a lot to get affect me. So just to give you an idea, 2 years ago, the elementary school that I was at in Philadelphia, if you look up our Mother of Consolation, it burned. So I had to move pre-K to 8th grade to Chestnut Hill College. And so that was a really scary experience and frightening. And so I've taught in Philly. I grew up in Philly. So there are a lot of things I had to deal with. It does, I am, like I said, I will get things done, but I'm kind of a quiet worker behind the scenes working on things. So I really don't mind if you call me, if you text me, if you email, whatever you'd like to do. So we will definitely, I visit classrooms. I might give my input just because, I have experiences. I consider myself, we'll say not old, but wise, right? So I'm happy to help with anything, any questions you have. If you need ideas or what do you think about this, shoot me a text and we can talk about it, put it in the GroupMe. Collaboration is a wonderful thing to say, hey, I'm doing this. And then maybe the social studies teacher will say, oh, I can, talk about this subject with the students, or the music teacher might be the music teachers I know that are here do an amazing job with diversity. So that could definitely be something good. So page 14, teachers. Teachers involved in this program must be proficient in the English language and must have a good working knowledge of its structure and functions. They must be either state, city, or nationally certified, be educators in public or private institutions with verifiable teacher experience, or currently enrolled in a teacher preparation program. All must possess excellent teacher and communication skills, and thank you for those who have communicated with me. They must be team players, not only in professional matters, but also in the day-to-day rigors of dormitory life. Assets of effective teachers include professionalism, commitment, spontaneity, creativity, a higher energy level, a sense of humor, the flexibility to adjust to the unexpected, adaptability in cross-cultural contexts, and 7, sensitivity to the needs of others. Teachers are expected to be respectful of the rights, customs, and traditions of the students and Polish staff as role models and ambassadors of American culture. Teacher participants from the United States should always maintain the highest standards of decorum. So your responsibilities as a teacher, communicating and cooperating with the American staff leader prior to and during the program, working as a cooperative member of a cohesive team, commitment to the goals of the program is a priority over personal goals or agendas of participants. Sounds like being a teacher, right? Preparing and submitting the number of lesson plans requested by the American staff leader. Teaching regular classroom periods per weekday during the 2-week instructional term of the program, and it is expected that the teachers will create a learning environment that is welcoming and conducive to expanding and enriching students' language skills and conceptual knowledge, providing audio, visual, and other materials for the lessons. So if you are using PowerPoints or you're making a Jeopardy game, I don't know about Kahoot because I don't think they really carry their phones, but audio and visual, make sure you let me know so that when we get there, I can say we need, all of our classrooms have to be equipped with the audio and visual. But from what I remember, 6 years ago, that wasn't an issue. So I'm thinking it can only get better with time, right? Participating in all field trips and other excursions as organized by the Polish or American staff leader. Honestly, you really don't want to miss out on anything. Poland is so rich with history. It's just fascinating. Exercising punctuality when attending all meetings, assembling socials, special activities, programs, events, notifying the American staff leader prior to your absence in case of illness or serious emergency. Hopefully everybody will feel well during our time in Poland. Maintaining accurate attendance records, lesson plans, extracurricular activity session, and of course you have to be accountable for all of the students that are in your charge. Reporting all breaches of student discipline to Polish staff members who are authorized to resolve such situations. Now, we need to observe the curfew rules. Staying out past curfew will not be tolerated. And just notify me whenever you leave campus as to your destination and time of return. And that's just so I know you're safe. So when my last teaching experience, or one of them, I like to go to a pool at night. It helps with my joints, and do like aqua jogging. And one of the teachers there, she scheduled the Uber for me so that she could follow the Uber to make sure I got to the hotel and then got home. So I took it as it was nice that she just wanted to make sure I was safe. So anything like that, and if anybody wants to go to Aquajog, I definitely will be looking for a pool. So I'd love to have the company. And then we want to make sure all the documents before the end of the program are submitted, evaluation forms, student essays, things like that. And I need everyone to read or listen to this curriculum guide thoroughly, sign Form C, expectations, and code of conduct found at the end of the handbook. So there is a signature page that I need from each of you. And you'll need to give that to me prior to departure from Poland. You can also hand it to me when I see you. And then if you're buying international travel insurance, make sure I get a copy of that. And then I would ask that you complete an American staff end of program evaluation. And I'm sure Dr. Payeski and Dr. Wojcik will be sending that out after we return to the United States. So it is expected that teachers will cooperate with their American staff leader, who is experienced in all aspects of the program and serves as the on-site authority. And as I said, if there's something I don't know, believe me, I will figure it out. That's an absolute. So teacher aides provide motivation and support as they work with the teaching staff. TAs will be assigned to specific teachers. We're waiting on one more TA, which I think is in the works. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you to help in other classrooms, but I'm pretty sure we'll be good for everyone. So your primary function as a TA is to reinforce learning that takes place in the classroom, serve as role models for the Polish students, stimulating English language conversation, integrating cultural tidbits during classroom and recreational activities at mealtimes and field trips, and whenever the opportunity arises. So during lessons, TAs can circulate among the students. You know, we don't want you sitting there, but you're all teachers, so teachers rarely sit anyway. So, you know, lead group activities under the guidance and supervision of the cooperating teachers. You know, you want to be a leader, strong extracurricular. We need you flexible, spontaneous, creative, high energy level, commitment to the program, adaptability and cross-cultural contexts, a sense of humor, interest in the customs and traditions of others, and the ability to get along well with others are important qualities which the TA should possess. And that's the end of page 15. So the TAs will communicate with the American staff leader, which some of you have. I really appreciate that. Working as a cooperative member of a cohesive team, you want to make sure you are there every day for the regular classroom periods, for the 2-week instructional time. You are preparing materials, preparing projects. I did send out the spreadsheet that lists like your arrival time in Poland, your departure time in Poland, and it has the teacher and the teaching assistant. Again, maybe that will change. Like if you come to me and say, hey, you know, could we switch this one or whatever? So please know I'm not perfect. You know, I do make mistakes and nothing is written in stone. But if maybe I should send that out again because I need your arrival and departure. And then also, you know, which teacher you are with so that the TAs will help with decorations. They're assisting the teachers with the use of classroom strategies to stimulate student responses. It includes working in tandem with the teacher or taking the role of the student if members of the class are reluctant to participate. So trying to get them to participate, the students. Aiding in the planning, organizing, and leading of a minimum of 1 or 2 extracurricular activities per day, providing materials whenever the TA assumes a leadership role in the activity, and planning and executing special events. TAs are required to participate in activities. Interacting with the students, participants during class and extracurricular activities. Participating in all field trips and other excursions organized by the Polish or American staff leaders, exercising punctuality when attending all meetings, assemblies, social, special activities, program events, as scheduled by the American or Polish staff leader. Notifying the staff leader prior to an absence in the case of illness or serious emergency. Hopefully, like I said, everyone's going to feel well. Reporting all breaches of student discipline to Polish staff members who are authorized to deal with such situations. Observing the curfew rules established by the Polish director, staying out past the curfew will not be tolerated. Again, we just want to make sure you're okay. You know, you're in a new country, and to make sure everybody's safe. Teacher aides must also notify the staff leader in person whenever they leave the campus as to their destination and time of return. In addition, kindly use the sign-in, sign-out book that will be provided. This policy is intended for participants' protection and in case anyone must be reached quickly in an emergency. So maybe what I'll do is put that book in the kitchen. I'll make a book and then put it in the kitchen. So I also need the teaching assistants to read this curriculum guide and handbook, also the activities coordinator, sign Form C, and submit it to me prior to departure, or to make sure you have a copy of that for me when we get to Poland. If you are purchasing international travel insurance, make sure that I have a copy of that. And we also ask the teaching assistants to complete an American staff end of program evaluation after returning to the United States. And then teacher aides, we ask that you please cooperate with me, the American staff leader, who is experienced in all aspects of the program and serves as the on-site authority. Now, there are peer tutors in this program. They are program specific. We do not have a peer tutor in ADVOC. So we do not have to worry about that. Now, the expectations and code of conduct. To ensure the quality of the program, all American staff must adhere to the guidelines and standards set forth in this document. It is also imperative to abide by the rules of the Polish director. All American staff must be professional, courteous, and respectful. Maintaining the safety of all camp workshop participants, staffs, and students is a top priority. The main goal of the camp workshop is to provide Polish participants with an English immersion experience, which means that the English language should be the medium of communication during the camp. It is highly recommended that any American teachers, teacher aides, or peer tutors who are proficient in the Polish language should not reveal this to the students or converse with them in Polish. This recommendation may be difficult for some American staff members who wish to improve their Polish language skills. However, separate times for speaking Polish with the Polish staff can be arranged. The measure of success for the students in achieving the goal of improving their proficiency in English depends on the full participation of the entire American staff at each camp. For the safety and security of all involved in the camp experience, it is expected that American participants in the program will adhere to the following principles of conduct. Meeting with one or more students should be held in open, common areas with other staff members present. Classroom doors must be kept open when meeting students before, between, or after classes. So same rules you're going to follow as you do in America. You want to make sure that you're following the same rules in Poland. Inviting Polish student participants of the camp to the living quarters of American staff is strictly prohibited. Never place yourself in a situation that could be interpreted as harassment or abuse of any kind, physical, verbal. Notify your American staff leader if you feel uncomfortable with any interaction or if you observe an interaction that raises alarm. American participants should always treat one another with respect and work together in a professional and collegial manner. Inviting local residents or friends to the camp must be approved by the Polish director. American participants are not permitted to socialize with students outside of the time, date, space of camp unless accompanied by the American staff leader or representative. So, we just want to be they're kids, right? So we want to be careful. American participants wishing to visit Polish students may do so outside of the official dates of the camp. American participants are not allowed to invite Polish students to local clubs or bars to drink alcoholic beverage, even if the Polish students are of legal age. American staff members should not accept the offer of an alcoholic drink from a student or drink alcohol in the presence of students. All staff are expected to set a good example. The use, distribution of drugs, or any other abusive substances is strictly forbidden. The gates and outer doors of the dormitories are locked for the night. Please respect and observe the curfew. American staff members are not permitted to visit student homes during the time of the camp. American staff members must inform the American staff leader of their destination and anticipated return time whenever they leave the campus. And it is highly recommended that staff members always travel in pairs or groups and not alone. Polish participants must obtain permission from the Polish director to go off campus. If an American staff member plans to take their students on a walking trip or an excursion into town, they must obtain permission from the Polish director and the American staff leader. Participants are responsible for the tidiness and care of their living quarters, including kitchen areas, common areas, for the security of their personal belongings. Participants should lock windows, doors, and valuables in a locked suitcase if a safe is not available on site when leaving their rooms in the dorm. So I have to find out what we do for wash, and if I don't think we're supposed to bring sheets or towels, but I will find that out too. Photography and social media. Eagle, Orzel, Educational and Cultural Exchange, and our Polish partners use photography and video to document lessons, classes, and events. These photos and videos may be used online in brochures and presentations on the program and in advertising or public relations activities. Photographs and videos featuring registered students and American Polish staff members are considered eligible for publication or public use unless the student or parent guardian of a student under 18 or staff member submits a request for non-use form. That's available on page 28, and give that to me, the American staff leader. So that's a request for non-use form. American staff members should consult with the American staff leader about policies related to and use discretion when posting information and photos from the camp workshop on any social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram. Some staff members wish to maintain privacy by not accepting friend requests from students or not wishing their photo to be published online. Kindly ask fellow staff members before tagging them in any photos or posting online. Please respect the wishes of fellow staff members and the Polish staff. The decision to friend campers is a personal one. It is not recommended that staff friend students until after the camp experience is completed. The logo of Eagle, Orzel, Educational and Cultural Exchange may not be used on any form of communication without prior written consent of the co-presidents of the organization, Dr. Mary Kay Pieski and Dr. Teresa Wojcik. Evaluation of the program. Teachers, teacher aides, peer tutors, and Polish participants are required to evaluate the entire program at its conclusion by answering the online questionnaire. So I am going to end that on page 18, and then my next video will begin on page 19, which is traveling to Poland. So I will read all of that to you, and hopefully you can listen on your way to work or on your way home from work to alleviate some of the stress of trying to read all of this on your own time. So I wish you a great day. I'm very excited about our time together. And like I said, I'm available. Don't hesitate to contact me, and be well today. Thank you.